Hey guys, it's Eidan from GamerzClass. Today I'm going to be doing another replay analysis for a member of GamerzClass. So before we get into the replay, a little bit about myself is that the primary role I play is safe lane carry, and the PKM I've achieved is 8,200. So getting in today's replay, we're going to be looking at Catwo's game here. His MMR is 2,100. And he's playing position 5 Disruptor in this game. He left a note on the replay saying, "This is my first replay analysis request, so I don't really have anything specific to ask. Just the usual positioning, rotations, itemization, priorities, match phases. Sorry, can't be more specific. Even though we won the game, I believe I could have played much better."
If you like this kind of content, go to GamerzClass.com. For just $10 a month, get your replays analyzed, watch masterclasses with pro players, join weekly coaching sessions, win prizes, and more with our Supreme Dota 2 membership.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just do like a general analysis then of all the points of the game, all the things that I think are important, and we'll get into it here. So playing position 5 Disruptor here, laning with safe lane void, and then in the enemy's lane here, pretty strange lineup here actually. So okay, so safe lane Juggernaut, probably Witch Doctor or Shaman supporting him safe lane, I'd assume. And then yeah, so safe lane Juggernaut with probably Shaman or Witch Doctor, and then it's either Techies 3 or a mid Techies, or it's a mid Snapfire, right? So not really sure, right? Like they're pretty weird heroes. So it's most probably something like Snapfire Witch Doctor or Techies Witch Doctor, I'd say. So pretty like you kind of want to buy the same items for both these heroes anyway, so it's not that big of a problem. So two ranged heroes, they cost like a lot of spells. Like Snapfire is going to be spamming spells, you know, Q and Cookie, and then if it's a Witch Doctor, he'll be spamming spells as well. So stickers are immediately something that I see that can be pretty good in this lane. And then other than that, you just want regen. Which Disruptor is like a really nice hero for, you know, just like hitting the enemy and using the Thunder Strikes, right? So you basically just want regen to sustain that, and you want regen to help your carry and yourself to help trade in. So like I think the build that you should be going here is literally just maxing out the regen, and then you should be rushing into Magic Stick just because it's pretty valuable. But it's not like super valuable on level 1, right? The Magic Stick, like. As they get more levels, they're going to be using like a lot of spells, so like you want a stick, but you don't necessarily need it at the start. So I think you should be going for just the maximum regen, right? So like the line I'm looking at here is double Tango, Solve, triple Mango, and then Fairy Fire. Like that just seems like a really solid plus 5 build for me. Like buying these items on like a lot of any heroes that just like trading, right? Using their spells and clicking the enemies. So like Bane, Jakiro, these items just like do what you want. The mana regen, the HP regen from the mangoes are really nice, as well as like the burst of mana. And then you also have the tangos for, you know, trading, and then the solve to help yourself or the carry, right? And then basically the first thing you're currying out when you have enough gold is a stick plus like an extra solve. In general, like against this lane, they're going to be spamming like a lot of spells, right? So you're probably going to need like to buy some regen for your void to help him out. So you want the stick, that's very important, and then you also probably want an extra solve. So don't like the build here. I'm not sure if you're completed it yet here, but you need a lot more regen. You need like mangoes. You need some way to get mana. So that you can like keep the harass up, and you know, if you can sustain it enough, you can probably even get kills. So you want a lot more regen here. Yeah, so I'm not sure why, like you should just be spending all your gold, maximum on regen here, getting mangoes, things like that. So yeah, not a fan of like saving so much gold here. I'm not 100% sure what the idea is. Yeah, and also like you want to try buy your items as soon as possible. and then get to this area as soon as possible as well, right? So the reason for this is you know, you just want to see like if the enemy Pos 4 is trying to get a sneaky ward down. So like if you're here, you can either spot it or stop him from planting it. And then you also just want to be here to scout, right? To like get info of heroes. Obviously, you want to like position carefully if you're only one hero, but generally it's going to be you and your safe laner. So you normally just like sit on the high ground here to spot heroes, or you're sitting like here. And also as a Pos 5 player, when you have a carry here that has a Quelling Blade, you should ask them, like when you feel like your carry is not going to do it because they're low rank or whatever, you should ask them to cut these trees, right? So always when you're playing Pos 5, always ask your carry player to cut this tree here so that you can pull the big camp, and cut this tree here so you have a nice path to like run into the aura range of the tower and like fight the enemies from here, right? So you avoided a lot of damage for the to the Witch Doctor at the start of the thing. So you go for the ruins, you guys stack for the casters. So you just want to have better positioning when you're playing against a Witch Doctor. But in any case, it's fine. Yeah, I like the aggression here. This is like what you need to be doing. Like the Witch Doctor isn't here, so you're just trying to bully the Snapfire. I think you can be like positioned a little bit more like over here, right? Just so that when you run forward to click him more, you're not going to aggro these creeps. You want to avoid aggroing these creeps toward you and making the lane messy. Also, when you spot the Witch Doctor here, like I'm pretty sure you spotted the Witch Doctor there. Yeah, so you need to be looking at your map as well. So I'd suggest having like bigger icons or whatever so that you actually see this, and just keeping an eye on your map, because this guy actually just walks here in vision and you can see him on your map here. And he has a ward, right? So as soon as you see him on the map here, you should be moving your camera and clicking on him. Then you'd see he had a ward, you'd see he planted it, and you'd actually get a free D ward. And then you would also not be in a bad position here to like get stunned and take a bunch of damage from them, right? And instead you would run towards just Witch Doctor, and you could literally just zone him away from here because he's already low HP and you have more damage than him. Like with Thunder Strike and right clicks, you will out-trade him here. So you want to like look at your map more first of all. This like could have been avoided, right? You would have seen he placed the ward, and you would have done a ton of damage to him and not gotten like forced away like this. So want to be more aware. Okay, we're coring out something. So interesting. Okay, so you're coring out a Basilius. Yeah, that's pretty confusing, right? Like because you had enough gold to like. You had enough gold to just buy the Sage's Mask at the beginning, so maybe you weren't sure of what you were gonna buy, and then you buy a Fairy Fire as well. So yeah, definitely not a fan of this. Like the Thunder Strike costs a lot of mana, so like this little regen, this like small amount of mana regen doesn't like help that much, like with the sustain, right? Like sure, it's nice, but it's just like very greedy, right? You want to have your Thunder Strikes early in the laning stage to like really bully your opponents, especially like in this case. They have very low regen. If you have like mangoes here and like a soul, you'll just like have so much sustain, and you'll be able to just force him out of the lane, and your void will be very free. Then they're gonna have to core out regen, and you're gonna have like so much. They're gonna have so much downtime, and then you're just gonna be very far ahead, right? So, I think this greedy build is just hurting you in this lane. I think if you just started with like the build I suggested, like double tango, triple mango, solve, and a fairy fire, you would be destroying these guys right now. So yeah, not a fan of the build. And also like you could have started with like the Sage's Mask and the Fairy Fire anyways, right? And then just cored out the recipe. So then at least you would have had the regen this whole time, right? The 0.6 mana regen. But yeah, in general, I just don't think this is worth it. Like this item has been like Sage's Mask, is the mana regen was nerfed really hard. And like it's just not that valuable anymore. So yeah, not a fan of it. You should like just get the build I suggested, I think, and then you should be rushing out a stick, and then like an extra solve or an extra clarity or whatever like kind of thing you feel you need, right? But the stick is the item you want here. It's very nice. So yeah, not a fan of the builds, and also this like play here. You know, you need to look at your map more. Just be a little bit more aware. So yeah, at this point we can see these guys are like, if we had mana here, if we had like mangoes, they would be in a really bad spot because this guy has no regen left and he's half HP, and this Witch Doctor's also like got low regen, right, and he's taking a lot of damage as well. So I think this build just means that these guys are gonna get more than they should. Sorry, if you have that like a lot more regen, these guys are just gonna struggle really hard here. Okay, but we're still doing like a decent job of harassing them here, but now obviously we don't have the regen, so now we're gonna have a lot of downtime. So all we can do is really just click them. You wanna, like I say, you wanna ask your carry to always cut this tree, and if your carry's not doing it and he's like ignoring you, then you wanna just use your tango to cut it, right? So instead of eating the tree here, you should have just cut this. So you open this pool as well as eating your tango, and then you could actually get this pull off here. You could pull here to here. The Witch Doctor might not cancel it. Like, you can just go for it, and then it's actually a Hellbear camp, so it will like kill these creeps really fast, and you can probably get denies, and it'll be really good for you. This lane will come under. The Void is low HP, so he'll be able to free farm under the tower. But instead now, this isn't going to be pulled, and it's going to shove in, and it's going to be awkward for your Void because he's low HP. And in turn, like getting this pull off is going to make it so that the lane equalizes better, and it's going to give you the space to get the stack on the small camp on 155, right, which is like the dream. So okay, so yeah, it looks like you were going for the pool there. So yeah, you just want to use like your tango, right, to cut this instead of eating it here. And you want to, like, always be in the habit, if your safe laner has a Quelling Blade, ask him to cut this pool camp, because this would have been really good for you if you got it off. Now you're in like a little bit of awkward spot, right? You have no regen. Your build was like also like not good, I think. So you wanna like just think more about what you need, what's gonna like give you the easiest time in the lane, and then we can see here now, right? Like your Void is like, he's off half HP, Snapfire as well, but like she's ranged, right? So it's like a little bit of a awkward part of the lane here. And yeah, it was pretty hard to go for the stack here. So I think just because your Void is so low, it's correct to stay in the lane and just help him here. And it looks like this was a really good Thunder Strike. Like you just got enough mana for it, and this is probably going to end up being a kill. And I think ideally you want to like die here. Or you want to be querying out regen, right? Like you just... It's like it's really tough right now. You just don't have the sustain. Like you did not buy enough regen, so it's very awkward. And again, this tree not being cut is a big problem because it means you couldn't get this pull off. So this is another, like this pull here as well, this is another pull that's very important that you get off, because if you don't pull this, the lane is going to push in, it's going to push deeper, and your Void is at risk here, right? Because he's very low and the lane is very deep. So you need to get a pull off. So this tree should have been cut, so this isn't going to happen probably, so then you just need to cut this. And basically you can like, now because you don't get this pull, you just help your Void in the lane. Like you can't pull this, right? Because the tree isn't cut, you don't have tangos. So it's something you just needed to do earlier. So now like you're forced to just like help your Void as much as you can. And then you want to run back in time to get the small camp pull off, and then you can like, or you can get your Void to cut this and try pull this. But again, this isn't the ideal situation for us right now. So sorry, give me 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. Just had a thing I needed to do there quickly. Okay, so yeah, so we're talking about the pool camp. So this tree here being cut is really important. And now that you haven't got this pull off, you need to like try help your Void in lane after he solves up here, and then you also wanna, so like you only have like maybe like 5 seconds, right, before you need to start running here. So you need to like try calculate the time. So you want to try like help him as much as possible here. Which you can't really, because it's just too much of a big wave. He basically just needs to go for XP here and try CS after he solves. And you need to just run and make sure you get this pull off. And then the wave is still going to be deep, so you'll probably be able to get the pull from here to here as well. So that's your main priority right now. The lane is very pushed in. It's in a bad position for your carry to play, so you need to get the pull off, right? So that's what we need to be doing now. Okay, so it's very important we get the pull off there. And I like that you're running back to like help your carry, right? You're not standing to farm it, so I think this is correct in this part. You just want to like run a little bit towards to your carry right now and make sure that he's like, if they go on him, you're close enough to help him. But you don't want to like force something here, right? You just want to make sure you're close enough, and then if nothing's happening, the lane is just pushing in and he can back off and farm it. Then you just want to try connect this big camp to this wave here, right, to deny it. Like that's what you're looking to do here. So we'll see how it pans out. Okay, so it's the right idea, but you just overextended, right? Like it was the right play there. Like your idea was right, but you just overextended. Like this is good. You pull, and instead of farming it, you're running just to make sure you're close enough to your void to help. Okay. And then at this point you see, okay, my void's completely fine. He's only missed one creep. The lane is gonna push in now. Now I can just back. I can try connect this to here. Maybe the Disruptor doesn't cancel it. If he does, it's also fine. But we can just go for this now. Because our void is completely fine. This is going to push in and he's going to get all the CS under the tower here. So now we see he's fine. Instantly we see he's fine. We're going to go and we're going to pull this to here. So yeah, there's no reason to run forward at this point now, because these creeps, he's getting them now regardless. He's very happy. So we're happy, right? And now this is just going to create this awkward situation. The creeps just aggro on us. They use their spells on us and we just die, right? So it's just an overextension. Okay, and we want to buy more regen, so I think you might have in your choreo. Okay, yeah, so you bought a solve, you bought 2 solves, so I like this. Like, it's a good idea to just buy solves, especially when you're against heroes that spam spells like this, like Snapfire and Witch Doctor. So, like I said, I would suggest getting the stick instead of this Bassi and like the more regen, like I said earlier. And then also here, I'd like to see you get like another way to get mana, just because I think the Bassi isn't quite enough to like for all your mana issues. So, also, the glimpse on level 2, so yeah, not really a fan of this. I think like the kinetic feel is really good. Glimpse, so you want to go for that instead. Like the one case where the glimpse is good is if you kill the enemy and they TP back in and you're able to like send them back to base, right? That's like the only time you really want the glimpse. But other than that, I think kinetic field is always like really like way better. So yeah, I think you should. The skill board is a little bit strange here. Yeah, again here we're just overextending. Like we're so this looks like you die here again. This is a pretty bad death actually. So again, this tree needs to be cut. Very, very important. Need to ask your character to do this. Okay, and at this point, like you're playing aggressively when your void is very low, right? So you have a lot of creeps. So like it's a decent time to play aggressive. It's just bad because your void is low HP, right? If he's full HP and you make this play, they probably both die here. But because he's low HP, you need to wait for him to heal, and then you need to play aggressively. Or if he's gonna take too long to heal and you can't play aggressively, then you just go for the pull. There's no reason to like force something when your carry's healing up, right? So you're not looking at like your carry here, and that means you're playing aggressively. Like it's a decent time to play aggressively because you have a lot of creeps, but you just need to pay attention to what your carry is doing as well, right? He's too low to fight, so he can't help you, so you can't play aggressively like this. So this is again, you're not like looking at your carry, so you don't know how low he is, and you get punished there obviously. So you just need to be more aware of that. And that's a pretty bad death because we just used our TP, so that's pretty unfortunate. Also, we missed the Barney run timing, so like we could have went for Barneys as well. So pretty bad death, and the reason why it happens is because we're just not paying enough attention, right? So you know, we just want to like focus more. Okay, going for the pull as much as possible. This is interesting. okay, so it seems like yeah, this was just like a misplay, I think, right? Like you wanted to connect this to this, and then you were like, oh, but I want to place my ward. And then you like aggroed the hellbears, and then you placed your ward, and then like they did 1 billion damage to you, so... Yeah, you want to avoid doing that, obviously, but I don't think it was intentional. The ward placement... I think it's a pretty obvious ward spot. If the... So yeah, like if the Witch Doctor is a good Witch Doctor player, he has a ward here actually, so he would have seen you. The ward that you should have spotted at the start of the lane as well, right? He would, if he was a good support, if he is a good support player, he would have seen you TP in and he would see you had a ward, and now he would know that you had planted it somewhere here. So you just want to like think about that, right? Like how much, like if the enemies have seen you when you have a ward, and then you want to be careful about how you place it, and make it as like as least like as little obvious as possible, right? So I'm gonna keep that in mind. Going for the second point in Thunderstrike. Yeah, that's good. I think it's like, I think the skill build is your Thunderstrike level 1, then you're going for Kinetic Field 90% of the time, and Glimpse when you can get a really valuable Glimpse. Then on level 3 you're always getting the second point in Thunderstrike, or sometimes if the Glimpse is really good you can go for it. And then on 4 you're going to start going into your Glimpse then, right? So you're going to start maxing your Glimpse and take your ult when you can. So that way you're going to have like 2, so it's going to be like a 2-1, and then you're gonna start maxing your glimpse, right? And take your ult when you can. Okay, so nice kill there. The Witch Doctor is very out of position. You had nice vision on him. I think you can pull this. Actually, you don't need to pull because the lane is pushing in. So now that the Witch Doctor is dead, you can just like continue trying to play aggressively on the Snapfire here. You can attempt to like connect this pool camp here to this wave to deny the Snapfire, like the XP and stuff, and then you can, if he tries to comfort, you could play aggressively on him. Just because I feel like the void is too low for you to like pressure the tower, right? So it just means the Snapfire is gonna get this stuff for free. So if you can like connect this pool here to this would be really good. So you could try to do that. It looks like you're going for the glimpse play here, so I like the idea. It looked like you were aware that the Witch Doctor was TPing in, and you wanted to glimpse it back to base, right? So like I like that that thinking. But again, I'm not a fan of the skill build. Like honestly, it's not that bad. As long as you get a point in your kinetic field on 5. You just really need a level in kinetic field before you get your ult. It's very important. So, and you like, I think kinetic field is way better than glimpse in this situation, so that you can like trap them in the field, and then your void can like hit them, right? Because they're trapped. Okay, so the soul purchases, using it on your carry. Like overall, like you have good ideas, and you definitely think about like some cool things, but there's just like a couple of the basics that you're missing out on. I think like your item build wasn't ideal here, and then like just like your deaths, both your deaths were unnecessary, and they were just like overextensions, right? And then there were also like a couple of things. This like tree not being cut earlier was a big problem. So yeah, like, you know, you just want to like try fix these couple of things. But overall, I'm seeing like some cool like thinking, right? So like I really liked it when I saw you like trying to go for this glimpse play on this Witch Doctor. Yeah, and yeah. So at this point, Void is 6 now, right? So at this point, you want to be playing aggressively. Okay, so like as soon as you're like, you should be, as the support, you need to be keeping track of like your void, right? You should be looking at his XP, and you see here that he's 1 XP from 6, right? So like you should be preemptively running at these guys aggressively and like looking for a glimpse, right? And then if he's like, if the Snapfire is like running back here, then you glimpse him back to here, and the Void just comes, hits him a couple of times, chronos him, he's dead every time, right? So you want to like try play aggressively when your Void gets this spike, when he gets this really strong spell, right? So I'd like to see you like doing that. You want to think about that the whole time. When you're strong, you want to run at the enemies and try kill them. Yeah, and like now we can see, so we got 6 before them, and then we didn't like play aggressively and go for the kill. And then what ended up happening is like they just farmed the wave, then Snapfire got 6, and they went aggressively on him, right? And they got the kill. So we can see there, right? Our Void kind of dies there because we don't kill them earlier, right? If we kill them, then he dies, He's like respawning now as he killed the Void, and then he's TPing back, he's still level 5, and then you can kill him again. So you can like see how the snowball happens, right? So sure, it was also just like a misplay from your Void. He didn't use his stick, he didn't time walk, but you just want to like take advantage of your enemies when you can. Yeah, so at this point, when you're getting dived like this, you want to ping, make it alert your teammates. If your Bunny and the TP's in there, he definitely gets the kill on the Snapfire. So you just want to like make sure you make it aware that that's happening. So these were some really bad deaths from you in the Void. Now the Witch Doctor's level 6 and the Snapfire, and they're having pretty good games, so not ideal. Okay, some awkward plays from the Void there. At least you get your level 6. Really don't like the skill build. Like I said, you want to get 1 point in your kinetic field before you get your static storm. There's no point to have 3 points in the Thunderstrike. You should definitely have 1 point in the kinetic field right now. And if you did, as soon as you got your 6 right now, you could like... Okay, you don't have a TP, but you could... For example, like what you would want to do is you would want to use the smoke and you get a cure with the kinetic field and the static storm, right? So ideally it would be on the enemy carry, because like this silence allows your Windrunner and your Bunny Hunter to kill the Jug, right? So these are like the type of plays you should be looking to make when you have like your big spell, like your silence, right? But unfortunately you don't have kinetic field, so it's going to be a lot harder to kill heroes. So the skill build is like handicapping you very hard here. Okay, and it seems like you're, I'm not really sure what's happening with the wards. I haven't really seen you buy so many. I think Bunny Hunter is buying, yeah, Bunny Hunter is buying the wards, so he can plant them easier, I think, and I think you want the wards in the top area of the map anyway, so this is fine. You should probably be buying sentries though, because you should at least buy like 1 sentry. Okay, you did actually. You have a sentry here. Okay, so you are buying sentries and stuff, and you should probably grow out like 1 more or something, and then I'd suggest something like a Windlace. Stick is still good. Probably go into like the Tranquils or something like that, right? And then you just want to buy items that are going to help you to survive. Okay, so like our spell usage is just very awkward, right? Firstly, our Void like goes for a solo play with the Chrono, and it fails because he was alone. And like now we kind of do the same thing, right? We go for the static storm. It was a good static storm to start off with, but we don't have kinetic field, so we cannot do anything, right? Like if we don't have Chrono and we don't have kinetic field, it's very hard to make kills with the spell. So like you actually can't make this play. You need to wait for level 7. Because you got a bad skill build, and you need to like wait till you have a point in kinetic field so you can actually make kills with your ult. So yeah, and now your Bunny Hunter is here, so this should be kills now. Nice glimpse. Snapfire actually barely lives there. Yeah, again, like I like the idea that you're going for rotations and stuff, but right now you actually just need to get level 7. Like you can't make kills without kinetic field. You literally just need to get the skill points. So it's like your skill build is like making it a lot harder for you to play right now. You can't really, it's a lot harder to make these kills right now without the kinetic field, but on the Shaman you can probably kill this guy. Like it's also like an awkward timing to rotate mid. Like as a support player, the timings you should be aware of to like rotate mid, the best time, right, to rotate mid is at the 10-minute mark. because that's the time when the catapult spawns. And if you like collapse on mid as the catapult arrives in the lane and you get a kill on like the enemy mid laner, it's a free tower unless like a lot of people TP. So like these are the timings that are ideal to make rotations. But like this rotation, I don't hate it. I think it's okay. Like I think there's a chance you might get a kill on this and do like damage to the tower. So like I like the idea. Like at least you're trying to make moves. But again, I think it's really important that you get like your level 7. A nice glimpse there on the techies. Okay, so that was a really nice glimpse on the techies there. So that rotation is like kind of works out pretty nicely. Fortunately, don't have the glimpse for the kill there, so like at this point, I feel like you should be like just leeching your level 7 here, or like farming this camp and getting your level 7 so that you have kinetic field, and then you should be smoking to kill this juggernaut with your ult and kinetic field plus like the void or the windrunner, right? That's like what you should be looking to do right now, I think. So the fact that it took so long for you to get this kinetic field is like slowed down your game and the amount of plays you can make a lot, I think. So it's quite a big problem. Yeah, and at this point, setting up to defend the bottom tower. Seems like the enemies have a couple of heroes right now, but the Jug and the Shadow Shaman are showing. So now you know like no one is actually bottom, right? So you can actually like go for kills. And he even wastes the ult on Snapfire. Yeah, so they use their spells really badly there. And like their teammates were showing top, right, and mid. So this play from them is just really bad. Really nice spell usage there. Like as soon as we get the kinetic field, we get these kills, right? So there's nice spell usage. You do die from the Maledict, so I think you should have like a stick is also really good with Maledict. Like healing in between the ticks makes it do a lot less damage. So yeah, like your items, again, I already spoke about your items earlier, not a fan of them. Also like the arcane bits, I don't think it's necessary. Like I think you could just go Tranquils. It's also really good versus Witch Doctor, like healing during the Maledict. And then you just want items like Glimmer Cape, Force Staff. All these items are really good. Just to like survive, right? So and to like help your cause. Okay, so at this point we have Static Storm soon, so we can look to make like a kill with it, right? Okay, that was a good kill. I like that you went greedy. If you didn't use your Static Storm there, your Void would have died, and that would have been really sad. So I like that you just use it to make sure your Void doesn't die. It's always worth it to make sure your carry survives. Yeah, now you've used your spells, so now you guys need to be a little bit more careful. So like I think it's really important that the next smoke you use is to kill this Juggernaut with Static Storm. And like take this tower top, right, and gain control on like the enemy top area. So I think that's like the idea you should have right now. Just because this Juggernaut is playing like here for so long and he's completely alone, right? We know he's alone because his teammates keep showing on the map. So like just you with Windrunner, right, smoked with Static Storm is a kill on Juggernaut, right? Smoke into Static Storm, Kinetic Field, Windrunner's focus firing him with Maelstrom. When the ult runs out, he shackles him and then he just dies, right? So that's what you 100% should be looking to do right now. Yeah, this is also cool. Like they're playing. This is also a good play. They're overextending bottom very hard when their strongest hero on the map, Juggernaut, is showing top. So you can go for these kills, right? Also your teammates are like already killing them. So you like connect. You just need to be careful about the Juggernaut TP. That's like the one thing you need to look out for. And now that you killed 2 heroes, I'd like to see you guys going for this tower. Like, both Shadow Shaman and Witch Doctor are dead, so this should be a free tower. So I'd like to see you pinging the tower here, telling your Windrunner and your Void to just take this tower. There are 2 heroes dead. This tower must just die now, so this tower should be dead. Nice kill on the techies there. I don't think the Static Storm was worth it there, but honestly it's perfectly fine. That's the enemy mid laner and he's level 12, so it's a really good kill. So I like, you're doing some pretty good plays here. Noted that the enemies are just running into you, but there's still like good reactionary plays. So I like what you're doing. Also, like, you're playing against techies, so I'd suggest you to buy like sentries. That's like, just spam like some sentries for wards. Put them on the key spots where you think that he plants mines. You know that he hasn't been in your jungle because you have vision here. So the mines have to be in their triangle or in their jungle, right? Or mid. So like, these are the places you want to place sentries. Also, your bunny just dropped gems, so you should go pick that up. So yeah, like your bunny hunter actually, okay, he got it with his courier. Okay, so some nice kills here. You're playing with your strong heroes, which I like, right? If this game, if I saw you playing with Medusa the whole time, like before she had Manta, I don't think you would be getting these many kills, right? So you wanna, like, maybe, like, in the case that maybe this is just happening for you and it's kind of just random that like plays are happening around these heroes, you wanna like proactively think as a support hero which heroes or which cores on your team you want to play around, right? So in this case it would be like the Windrunner ideally, and the Barney obviously is a support, but you want to play the Barney, the Windrunner, and then the Void. He has Battle Fury, but whenever he has Chrono he can still like help make kills, right? So like, these are also, the Chrono is really good setup for your spells, so you always want to think about that, like the heroes you want to play around with. And okay, so yeah, it seems your Barney is taking all the wards, but like the ideal time to like place wards when you have wards is like when heroes die. So when you like kill heroes here, this is a good time to like place a ward, right? So this one's a bit obvious, so I'd suggest like trying like more like sketchy spots like here, you know, even like here, like wards that are less like, oh here, like less likely wards to get dewarded, right? So the times to deward and ward is when you kill the enemies, right? And if you're in a game where you're not killing enemies and you're really far behind, then the only way to get wards down is to smoke and place your wards. Okay, so what's happening here? What's happening here? Hold on. Sorry about this. Okay, take the bot tower, this is good. Okay, so here at this point I'm seeing you trying to connect your Medusa here to make kills, and you're using your smoke alone, right? So I'd really like to see you tell your Windrunner to come with you here, and like smoke you and your Windrunner, and then run together to connect here. Like that's a call you should be making as the support. So I like that you're making these aggressive plays towards your cores and stuff, but you need to also like, you know, include the heroes that need to be included, like this Windrunner. Okay, so the solo smoke, we even, seems like Barney Hunter re-smoked us there, which is pretty weird. Decent, okay, pretty good, like we had vision of the techies, but no one else, right? So we need to be like very careful about fighting up high ground. And also we're only 3 heroes. Like our Void just used Chrono, he doesn't want to fight. Windrunner doesn't want to fight, so this can actually go very bad, right? So you want to be careful about ever running up the high ground and fighting. And like after you miss the spells like this, you should be like trying to back off. Like your ult fails, you don't get the kills, so now you should just be trying to back off. Also, like you guys are split, and you don't like see the enemy's heroes, right? So for all you know, there could be 5 heroes right now. Although the Witch Doctor just showed, but like 2 seconds ago you didn't know Witch Doctor was bottom. So you always need to look at the map. Don't like run up into the enemy's area with no vision. This will like be bad a lot of the time. So yeah. Okay, and now the enemies overextend, right? Like now the enemies make the big mistake of running onto their low ground into you guys, and you guys can just click in with Medusa and use your spells on Windrunner, right? So you get all the kills. So this was good. Like, you missed your spells, then you backed off as a team, and then they chased down the hill, and then you turned and killed them because they ran onto the low ground. So this was pretty good stuff. Yeah, so not a fan of the item build. I think you should just be buying items to help survive. You don't need the Ags, like Ags Rush. The problem with builds like this is that you just die. Like, you have no way to survive. So if there's heroes that can kill you, like Juggernaut, if Juggernaut in the fight, he can just Diffusal Blade you and kill you, right? If they fight properly. Snapfire kills you very easily. So like, you want to buy items that like help you and your team. So like Glimmer Cape, you want a stick. You want like these value items like Windlace, things like this, right? Things that help you survive. Also, you're against techies, so you need to be buying sentries. Okay, actually your Bounty Hunter does have a gem. Okay, so like, yeah, that's fine then. You don't really need to spam that many sentries. You need to be careful running around this area and this area. You're playing against techie. Okay, not this area because you planted all your sentries here. But you need to be careful about this area because this is the one area techies could be placing mines. There can't be mines here because we've had vision here, and there can't be mines here because we've had vision here, and heroes have been playing here most of the time. So the mines have to be here right now, right? Either here or they're like here because we have a gem, so they're not here. So we need to be careful about the triangle. Yeah, using the Static Storm to save your Medusa there from the shackles. It was good positioning. Like, you're very far back. You were in vision though, so ideally you want to be like sitting in the trees out of vision. But the idea is right. You're like very far away. So, like in general, as a support player, you want to be in a position where it's very hard for like the enemy cores to catch you, right? So like this Juggernauts. And this, well, they have a techie's mid, so it's mainly just Juggernaut. So you want to be in a position where he can't close the gap between you and him, right? At this point, you guys should be backing off, but it's... Like, as a support, you can make the score, but generally it's like your carry score, just because they have the items. So yeah, it's just like a bad overextension there. Like, your Medusa had no mana, your Bounty Hunter had no mana, and like they were all respawning, right? So this is just bad. Probably make a core to get back there, but honestly, that's not your fault. It's mainly just your core players there. Okay, so teammates running into rush. It's fine because we see them all on our wards here, right? So this ward is spotting them. So it feels very safe to do the rush in there. So like at this point, you guys should be moving as a team. So I'm not sure what this play is from you and Bounty Hunter. Like you're running into, you know, like you're running into the enemy's area head on, the one area where they're playing. Your two support heroes, you know, your heroes that do damage are Shoei in mid. Your Void is miles away. Your Windrunner is miles away. This is just like, you need to be with your cores, and you need to be following your cores right now, right? Your cores. And playing around them. Not like trying to make solo plays on two heroes that deal no damage, right? Into the most dangerous area of the map. So, like, just very out of position here. When you have Aegis, you want to group up as a team. When you're ahead and you have Aegis, you want to group up as a team and go push towers, right? So you want to be around your cores and not like feed like this. Okay, so like when you respawn, I think it's fine to shove out this wave, but then you shouldn't farm this camp. You should just farm this wave and then run to your teammates. You just need to like be by your teammates. and you run into some techie mines. That's honestly pretty unlucky. Like your bunny has a gem, and he like didn't spot it. So that's like honestly, that's like not much you can do about that one. I think. I don't think it's realistic to like expect mines to still be here when you have a bounty hunter with a gem. So that's just an unlucky death. So yeah, unfortunately your teammates are like fighting while you're dead. Can't do much about that one either. So like your Medusa and Windrunner die, so you just need to back off and wait for them to respawn. Like yeah, it looks like you're going for a player. You do have Chrono, so you get Invis on the Void. It's a nice kill. They were split up. After you use the Chrono, you should be back in there. And then when your Medusa and Windrunner connect, then you can go again. But you do need to be very careful. Okay, no, you have Gem on Void, so you're good to go. So you need to be careful that your Void just scouts it, right, to see if there's mines. So there. Now you guys know there's mines up there. Using the kinetic field so you can deward it. This is nice. Yeah, interesting plays here from Void Runner. From Void and Windranger, just throwing a little bit there. Yeah, and like when your cores die, you generally want to back off. So when the Void jumps in like that and the Windrunner dies, you want to make the core to just back and start running away to avoid these like throws. Also, I think it's very important that you guys aren't controlling the map very well. You're kind of just like running high ground against techies. You're not patient at all. You need to be very patient versus hero. Like you can't just run up high grounds and try to end the game. You should be taking their outer towers. You should be taking their shrines, so you get all the XP on them every 10 minutes. And you should be getting offensive wards up, and then you should be playing on those wards. And when the enemies run into your wards, you just kill them, and then you just go high ground when they're dead. But obviously, like when you're playing, like most of the later game calls are depicted by your core players, so you can like tell them what to do, I guess, if you feel like they're not that good. But yeah, like there's no guarantee they listen to you, right? So you just need to like play the best game you can, and that is like not like forcing bad engagements. Like this death here is a good example of that. When your cores die, make the core to back off and just start backing off. Yeah, again here it seems like your team is very adamant on going high ground, so really nice chrono. And I don't like that you're like running in here. I don't think that's necessary, right? So I'm not sure why you're running in like melee range like this. Like you could just stay on the low ground, right? And just look for an opening instead of like running in melee range of all the heroes. You want to like be out of range of like this Juggernaut, the Death Ward, and all these things, right? Like you want the Medusa and the Void to like tank the damage. You don't want to do that. Okay, and really nice ult there. Back off, and you like again here. You want to try play out a vision. Like right now, how you should be positioned is you should be behind this tree. And you're baiting your teammates so that all the enemies stack up, and then you just get a big ult off, right? So here it happens a little bit differently, but I think if you're just hiding behind this tree the whole time, you get like that ult off a lot earlier, right? So your job as a support is to not die to cores, and the core's job is to kill the support. So you just need to be aware of that, right? Position in a way that it's very awkward for the cores to kill you and find you. Okay, so again here we're just seeing like your Void and Medusa die weirdly, and it's making the game prolonged. Okay, getting a corner on the enemy carry there, no buyback. Techies is blowing everyone up. Yeah, but without the Juggernaut, it just seems they don't have enough. The Medusa's too tanky. And you guys get the team wipe there, so... and one more death there for the game. So, pretty prolonged game. I think, like, at the end of the game, there's not much, like, too much to take out of those mistakes. Like, the majority of them are just your cores being a little bit crazy and dying to techies' minds. But like what I can suggest is when you're playing against techie is be patient and try not to get tilted. That's the one hero that the one way that hero wins. Is the whole team gets tilted, they die to mines a couple of times by forcing high grounds, and then they don't want to play anymore. So be patient, kill the mines, you know, like use your spells to get vision with your sentries and your gems, and just be patient against techies. Other than that, I think like the main thing you should focus on were during the laning stage and the mid game. Like your item build was quite a big problem this game. I think also your skill build delayed your like how many rotations you could make. Your smokes could have been used a lot better. So those are like the main points I want you to just focus on for now, right? Like buying the right items for the lane. Doing the correct skill builds. Making sure you cut the right trees so that you can get your pulls off. You know, like, you were doing, like, a lot of things right, but then there were also a lot of things being done wrong. So, you know, you just want to, like, refine those things. The over-aggression in the lane, you need to make more... You need to pay more attention to what your carry is doing, right? If your carry is low, you can't play aggressively and go for a kill as a support. Unless they're also, like, 1 HP, right? So, you just need to, like, pay more attention to those things, and I think you're going to improve a lot. And also like the item builds and the skill builds also very important. So those are like the main things you should focus on for now. And then also like mid-game rotations. Those things are going to become easier if you correct your skill builds and your item builds. So that's going to be the replay analysis, guys. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.